Well, as the world is marking International Nelson Mandela Month, former CEO of the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund, Sibongile Mkhabela, says former President Nelson Mandela always cherished children. She says South Africa should do more to protect its children. She spoke to Khayelihle Khumalo on the margins of the African Women Dialogue.
By all means, a very important day here at VETS. It's all about the discussions really touching really at the core of the African women philanthropy, especially now with all these challenges, whether you look at the women and the conflicts in Sudan, Yemen, and many other areas as well. But someone really doesn't need any introduction, really, is Miss Mkhabela, and we know that she's quite really fond of South Africa. Once again, ma'am, thank you so much and welcome to SABC.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Lovely. Maybe just a summation, a very invigorating, a fascinating discussion about the role of African women and philanthropy, especially now where there's conflicts, a lot of challenges we have.
The sad thing about philanthropy and women is that women are philanthropy. Is that often philanthropy is needed when communities are breaking down, when systems are breaking down, and the people who pull it together, the people who build with their hands, is the women. And today it's good that what we're doing is to affirm the woman who's on the ground, who's in Yemen, and making sense of what she's facing, the woman who is in Gaza, with all the women whom we know are holding their families and they're also holding their communities and making sense of what is going on wherever they are. But we're also trying to say to women, you have done it and you continue to do it. Society hasn't done well and hasn't done good for women because it has always tried to erase them from the bigger story. The bigger story becomes a story of war, becomes a story of victory, becomes a story of men sitting around a boardroom deciding how many men must die. But the people who actually pick up the pieces and the people who fight for peace, and fighting for peace is harder than being on the battlefield. The people who fight for peace are the people that are often invisible in society. And today, VETS in Mandela's Day, is going to be Mandela Day tomorrow, want to bring peace by saying who are the architects of peace in our society, and those are women.
Most definitely. And we know, ma'am, that when you talk about, for example, the socioeconomic challenges, the face of poverty is still a black woman. 30 years down the democratic dispensation, these are persistent challenges that we're still grappling with and not really peculiar to South Africa. These are global issues, especially when it comes to black women.
South Africa, it's true, the issue of socioeconomic and the poverty being, the face of poverty being women, and the face of illnesses, of ill health being women. The sadness is that no one is telling us the face of strength, the face of families that are standing, the face of men who are standing, it's also women. The face of that which works in society, it's women who are holding it together. It is unfortunate that because society is so patriarchal, that when we put these things across in media and so on, it's the male voice that you hear. And the challenge is that I'm not opposed to male voices. The problem is that those voices also carry their biases and their values. And therefore the value of care, the value of connectedness, the value of togetherness is often lost in the interests of the bigger voice. And the man does not want to talk about charitable work, does not talk about feeding children, does not talk about children going to school. They want to talk about the policy on social development. They want to talk about giving people 350 rands per month and say that should be enough for poor people. It's not enough for them, but it's enough for poor people. The people who are on the ground making sense, who are advocating. Women are everywhere. They're the ones who are the advocates, who are pushing policymakers to make better policies because they feel the pinch. It's the woman and the people who finally announce the policies that they decide to make. It's often men. because the world is so patriarchal, and we don't have a choice in the future. And I'm hoping our children and our grandchildren are really going to shift this obsession with male power is what has put us where we are. The world is literally at war, and it's all about male egos, male power, and who they are, but at the expense of every human being in the society. To begin to create humane societies, and to create those humane societies, you will need women at the lead. You don't need more women leading in the way that men lead. It's not like we're having less women sometimes. South African Parliament, for example, would boast of so many women. It's not how many women you have, is what those women would bring into that room and how they shift the game. If they're going to learn to play the game the way men play the game, we just have added to the male team, is bringing who we are into those boardrooms. And maybe you don't even need boardrooms. Maybe we can do it as we sit as at the river, because what else can we? How else can we do this? So it's really the approach, the sentiments, the thinking that come with women, who often, for us and for many women, I don't know how men do it. It's difficult to dissociate yourself from the mother, the sister, the cousin, the aunt, the grandmother. It's difficult. So when I'm thinking about policy and making policy, I'm thinking I'm doing this for my children or my grandchildren.